Our phone number is 0208-808-0693. We are ready to take your call. Now, one of the things that Nigeria is doing at the moment is that, I believe the date is June, moving over from analog to digital.
Yeah, June 17th.
And you're a man in the media. You've been there for so long. Do you think that Nigeria is really ready to be able to make that change from analog to digital?
It's not principally about the readiness of the country. It's almost mandatory. Because if we don't do the digital switchover, we're going to be left in a digital darkness. Yes. And like all things Nigeria, we almost always do things at the very last minute. But it's the peculiarity of the nation. That is what makes us tick. That's what separates us from all the other African nations. Well, I know we will get it right. But in terms of preparation, I think there's been a humongous attempt by the embassy, the Ofcom of Nigeria, to make sure that all the parties involved, all the broadcasters, are in tune with what the reality really is. Because the cost of not digitally switching over is going to be huge on the country.
Really?
Yeah, because one, the ITU, the International Telecoms Union, has made it mandatory. It's not a date set by Nigeria. Yeah, and the spectra that will be freed as a result of the migration is not owned by Nigeria. Okay. So if there are going to be some penalties if we don't switch over, but I think some countries like Nigeria, India, and countries with very vast geographical landscape are going to be given some room. Okay. The UK has switched over since.
Oh yes.
But some of the broadcasters are also have switched over the last 4 or 5 years. Okay. Yeah. But in a nation that has close to 70, 80 public broadcasters, it's been quite tedious and hectic. And in terms of, you also consider the huge financial reinvestments that are involved. Yes. So that is, and a mindset. Change is a terrible thing, but it must happen. Yes. Because that is what is constant, about life in the first place.
Now, you've talked about the financial impact that will affect those that are involved, and you mentioned so many companies that are operating in the field. Are the government doing anything to support them so that they can meet the deadline, or so that?
I think so. I think in terms of education and reorientation, yes. And but the major thing is the government has not actually come out because broadcasting in Nigeria has been deregulated for close to 30 years now, since the time of the Babangida regime. So it is not really the business of government to be involved in business, because in Nigeria, broadcasting is not just a public service; it's a business outside of the NTA. So, but I think the broadcasters have come together, particularly the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, to create a front whereby there's a meeting point. So they've put all their resources together so that they can be able to meet the digital switchover deadline. But if that doesn't happen, it is not as a result of the fact that they don't want to. Maybe there are other extraneous factors that are much beyond their control. But we have to. And I'm one of those who is principally involved in the digital switchover process. And it is I'm strongly opinionated when it comes to that, that we must switch over so that we will not be the one out of 100 and something nations, and be left behind the Committee of Nations. It's not, we will switch over. And the NBC DG has been doing quite a lot, and I think we will switch over.
Okay, that's good. It's good to know that Nigeria is actually moving with the time, and they're going to effect this. But again, bird's eye view. Nigeria has been very busy recently.
Busy.
Not just busy in Nigeria, but we're the talk of the whole world at the moment.
That is why we are Nigerians.
Nigeria is on everybody's lips. People are worried. Business is suspended. So many things because of the election. Give me an overview. How do you see, this?
I think the entire thing about the Nigerian elections this year is actually great for our democracy. It's great because Nigerians are talking.
Yes.
And Nigerians are going to vote.
Yes.
And their votes are going to count. And unlike the previous elections outside of the last one, the 2011 one was considered fairly credible.
Yes.
All the international observers said so. And it was the first time that Nigerians had the same song. It was like a swan song.
Yes.
You know, but this time you find thousands of tweets, you know, millions of Facebook comments, and it's not just happening only in the marketplace, it's also happening in the digital space.
Yes.
You know, so, and I think that's good for the country. We are being noticed.
Yes.
We are being taken quite seriously. And it would be foolhardy for anybody not to take seriously the largest economy in Africa.
Absolutely.
And Africa is the largest, is the most attractive emerging market outside of Asia. You know, so it is important that people are talking, and it is important that processes are being put in place. It is important that Nigeria is the signature of all eyes now, and I think it is beholding on all the players to realize that, look, the future is a little much more important than the ambitions of a few.
I agree, you know, that's a great line there. But I want to take you back. You mentioned there that, you know, it's good that the world are taking us seriously.
Yeah.
Can we really say they're taking us seriously, considering the write-ups that we've read in the economics? The economist, no. The economist,
the economist is doing a great disservice to the Western world.
Wait for me.
You know, and I think they should
the Wall
just...
Street Journal.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you know, some of the unfair comments by some U.S. politicians, Hillary Clinton, John McCain. You know, what we're reading here in the UK, for instance, would you say that they are taking us seriously?
When America takes notice, America takes sides.
Okay.
I remember I will just quote something from Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
He says about the US and the rest of us, because us is US.
Yes.
So if Hillary Clinton, let's forget her own frailties and shortcomings.
Yes.
You know, is making unpalatable statements about our nation.
And our president.
And our president. Ironically, you know, Barack Obama and Goodluck Jonathan have too many things in common.
Right now?
No, or ever.
Okay.
You know, persons of very, very disadvantaged classes rising to the very zenith of their country.
Absolutely.
Persons coming from not just disadvantaged, maybe maligned. Goodluck Jonathan is from the Niger Delta.
Yep.
A nation, a part of the nation, that a nation people that you may say was the reason the British stepped into Benin River in the first place. When they came for the oil.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the oil under the ground.
No.
I'm talking about the oil in the palm fronts. That drove the Industrial Revolution in Great Britain in the 18th century. That is why they conquered my place. That is why Benin fell. And that is why they declared the protectorate of the oil rivers. And that protectorate of the oil rivers, the epicenter is maybe Otuoke, where the president is from, where people still live in abject poverty. And a nation where we got independent since 1914, when we got amalgamated by force. God did not create Nigeria, like Ahmadu Bello said. The British did. You know, so the forcing together of different ethnic nationalities. We have to understand they were nationalities.
Yes.
You know, we are brought in a convoluting concourse without recourse or without asking if these people wanted to coagulate in the first place. That is on the one hand. We look at Barack Obama, a man whose father never was American.
No.
He was Kenyan, a student coming into the United States in an era where there was huge racial strife. In an era where I have a dream. So maybe Jonathan is also the realization of that Nigerian dream, where those who have fed the country since amalgamation, where those who have fed the country since independence, have been given just one little peck to pick at that which they have contributed so largely to. 100 naira in every Nigerian pocket. No, we are in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. For every 100 pounds in every Nigerian pocket, 87 to 90 comes from the area where Goodluck Jonathan comes from. But they've been the most maligned. Obama, slavery, although he was not part of the slaves. No. So we can look at it. He was not the child of the richest American. His father or mother never were from Yale or any of the ivory towers. Same thing with Goodluck. Goodluck actually said he had no shoes. So I think they have a lot in common. And if the Hillary Clintons of this world, who've lived all their life from silver spoons, should understand that these persons are standing as epochs in junctions of history. So it is understandable. Then we also must understand that the whole clamor, the hit on our president, on my president, on the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the president of the largest black country on planet Earth, is okay. If we don't get attention, positive or negative, then maybe we are not doing something. Okay. That is the truth. But I think she should watch it, or people like her should watch it. And in the UK, who are those that are talking against us? Failed politicians? Who are those that are celebrating whatever? The Gordon Browns, who've been browned out and blacked out? So we have to look at it closely. But for me, I look at my president, I look at the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria without the bias of partisanship, and I tell myself, go boy, because he's the first president in the history of our nation, apart from maybe Tafawa Balewa before the 1966 January 15th coup, that had absolutely no relationship with the militocracy. With the nascent militocracy, with the persistent militocracy of our country. Yes. Even those who were civilian presidents outside of now. Yes. Shehu Shagari served in the military government. Yes, he was a minister under Gowon. Or is it Obasanjo, who was a general in the army and former military dictator? Or is it a married person, Yaradua? Yaradua's eldest brother, Shehu Yaradua, was the second in command to Obasanjo, and it was as a result of the failure of the Abacha regime to allow Yaradua rule. Shehu died in Abacha's gulag. He died in Abacha's prison. So it was like, okay, maybe we thank him, for those of you that are pidgin, maybe we thank him, brother small. You know, so he's the first person that has absolutely no prior consent, no prior connection, no prior blessing of the military. And I think what all this is happening is that the military is seeing, or the old guard, not this present military, because this present military seems to be standing by our president. Okay. Yeah, it's the old guard who are seeing the singing of the Anok Dimitis colloquy. You know that song that the Catholics sing when they do the burials? Yes. We are nailing their coffin. And the harder the fight, the sweeter the victory. Okay. Now, you know, you've said so much there. Let me try and come back to you point by point. Yeah. Now, you know, we've seen a lot of failings. When I say failings, in the security aspect of the country, mainly in the northeast of the country. Yeah. You know, and this has not been very good on your president, as you said. No, let me come in quickly here. No, you know, history doesn't lie. Let me just say this quickly. Okay. In the 70s, the IRA, I want to use Britain, because you have to remove the log in your eye before you begin to blow out with a vacuum cleaner the Peking and others. In the 70s, the Irish Republican Army, and the 80s, the 90s, 3 decades, girlfriend. You get it? The Irish Republican Army had been fighting since Macmillan was Prime Minister. And all the years of Margaret Thatcher, all the years of John Major, almost half the preoccupation of Tony Blair, until there was a resolution. Yep. People were being bombed in the streets. People died in Belfast. Let's put that aside. That is the West. Since 2011. Since 2000.
Okay. Let's hear from our first caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the program. Where are you calling from, and your name, please?
My name is Dick. I'm calling from Ireland.
From Ireland? Great. Yeah. What's your contribution, sir, or your question?
Please, my contribution is that I would like to emphasize that it's a good thing that Nigeria now have an open party. In Europe, like in Britain, we have Labour and we have the other party. In America, we have Republicans and Democrats.
Okay.
It is a good thing that is happening in Nigeria now. I am an Igbo, but I know that it is good that PDP will be a change in Nigeria. So that those that are ruling Nigeria for a long time, we know that there is power in the masses.
Okay.
The vote need to count this time around so that there will be change. If I'm from Imo State, and I have seen what different parties can bring in, State have been lacking behind all along until the overall has came in. Now we have seen a new dimension of rulership. So it is good that, not that I have anything personal against Jonathan, but he is a little bit sluggish and is condoning corruption, which is the major problem of Nigeria.
Okay.
So let there be a change in that country. That's what I'm wishing for Nigeria.
All right.
If there is a change so that when I not perform better than any other one, but as soon as if you make any mistake next time, then we place another person.
All right, sir. Let me ask you, sir, very quickly, sir. When you say a change, I suspect you would like the opposition to win. Is that correct? Oh, we seem to have lost him.
I think I will just answer him quickly.
Yes, please.
I think that is the singular disservice we have to ourselves. Because change is not the same thing as retardation. You know, when you say change, I think everybody means positive change. Change from one lower to the other higher. Now just look at it very, very tactically. If I want change, I'm an Edo man. And so if I want change, there's a saying in my place, I will not discard an ill-fitting brand new jeans and decide, or an oversized brand new jeans, and decide because I want change, I will wear the ragged old clothes of my 90-year-old father. Let me say this clearly. When we say we want change, change has become an aphrodisiac. Change just for the sake of change. Now we look at a man who used the word sluggish. I don't think the slowness or fastness to speech is a determinant of achievement. Now, if he's calling from Ireland, he's calling from Northern Ireland, I thank him. Now, I want to look at my country as someone who lives in Nigeria, as someone who just flew last night to the UK.
Okay. You
get my point? So I won't look at it from I'm a participant observer.
Yes.
You get it? I face the book about the country. I'm not talking on Facebook.
Okay.
You get my point? Now, secondly, you look at it, change to what? The president, I don't just say it quickly. The president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was 25 when Buhari was president. Obama was 22 when Buhari was president. David Cameron was 17 when Buhari was president. So if now, in another 25 years, a ragged grandfather, Jonathan, as a show of change, Nigerians are clamoring for a change. I bring a ragged Jonathan, a beggarly, godfatherly, old man, grandpapally Jonathan as change? Hell no. Okay. We cannot change for the sake of it. And Jonathan in his first term did not perform worse than Obasanjo in his first term. In his first term, Obasanjo was a man in chains because he came in under very extenuating circumstances. And we remember that he had to kneel before governors. It was in the public space. And those governors, he pursued them in the second term, whether it was an Alamese, whether it was a James Ibori, whether it was a Lucky Benedio, until he got out of office, or whether it was Atiku Abubakar. And in the second term, Obasanjo was his own man. So why don't we give Jonathan to be his own man in his second term? Now our president in the last couple of months has been sounding more presidential than ever.
I agree.
And we have to tell ourselves the truth.
Okay.
We intend, in spite of all the muslings and point-blank bullet shots being fired by less patriotic Nigerians.
Okay, let's hear from our caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Percy, my name is Mayowa Peters. I'm calling from Colchester.
Hi, Mayowa. What's your contribution or question this afternoon?
Yes, it's a good thing that Don Pedro will come in and with all this form of sophistry and everything. You know, the fact remains that Nigeria does not need a gentleman. Jonathan is a complete gentleman. And what he has done in the past 6 years, he cannot actually mention, he cannot actually point at it, that this is what I've achieved. All the point out is all these ragged trains, World War II trains that he's bringing up. You know, Nigeria has a lot of problems. Nobody is asking for a miracle. What we are asking for is the basic things of life. Come there, do your bit. You'll be able to point at this, what I've actually achieved. A man with his form of background, with that type of background, should know what Nigeria needs. Not just for him to be there, almost doing nothing. Why is he now, you know, going about Boko Haram? Why is he now doing all those things? Opening roads, going up and down, when he now has 6 weeks. What he has not done in 6 years, he now wants to do everything in 6 weeks. So is it not a surprise that actually Jonathan could do something with what we are now seeing?
Okay, so thank you.
He has spent his time.
Okay.
Not able to do it.
All right.
It's a situation, what we have is a situation whereby it's more or less like having an emergency. It does not matter. It's only, unfortunately, it is Buhari that is available. If it had been some other person, Nigerian would...
Actually, there are so many more available, 14 candidates actually.
Thank you.
Buhari is not the only one available. There are so many others. But Mr. Peters, thank you so much for that call.
Yeah, Peters, I will speak to you directly. I don't know if this camera is on a close-up.
Yes, it's directly.
The problem with Jonathan's administration is not his achievements, but the seeming inability of his spin doctors not to spin properly. I'm not a politician. This is a nation that has risen from being a pariah nation. When Obasanjo was leaving, we were third in the corruption index. We are still corrupt, yes. Every Nigerian is. Maybe you, Peter. Because I lived here in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, I taught here at the University of Bradford, and I knew when in those days Jonathan wasn't involved, Nigerians were raping one to one. I live now in Nigeria. Every bus conductor has something crooked about him, and it goes up the value chain. Now today, you say ragged trains. You've never been to those trains. You are being judgmental. Now, one train that I entered today, a train coming from Croydon, is written clearly there, 1897. That was before the fall of Benin. But it's still running. So we should look at it from a more holistic point of view. That Jonathan has not been sold properly by those who were meant to sell him ab initio. Maybe that is Jonathan's biggest problem, not lack of achievement. If you ever been to Nigeria, if you are from Benin City, Edo State, it takes us 7 to 9 hours to journey from Lagos to Benin. A journey of less than 180 miles. Today, between Shagamu, between Redeem and Shagamu, I will tell you it is a 10 lane carriageway. Between Shagamu and Benin, everybody knows it is clear, beautiful, 4 lanes on either side. Now, the worst thing that will happen to you if you come from the Niger Delta and you are going to Abuja is when you get to Okene. It's a good luck. Jonathan has created a bypass. I don't want to talk about the ones I have not seen. Is it the airports? Have you been to Nigeria in the last 3 years? Let's wake up and smell the coffee. Our airports are looking like international airports. As I was leaving Lagos yesterday, I will tell you, a fourth terminal is being built. Terminal 4 in Nigeria. For the first time in history, Nigeria has conveyor belts. We have, things are happening. Before Jonathan came into office, we could barely boast of 5,000 megawatts of electricity. Let's tell ourselves the truth.
But you know,
if Jonathan ain't doing nothing, if he ain't doing nothing, then maybe the entire community that recalibrated Nigeria's position from being second or third in Africa to Africa's largest economy under his watch, maybe everybody has a problem like The Economist.
We have another caller. Let's hear what the next caller has to say. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
My name is Wes and I'm calling from Italy.
Welcome, Wilfred from Italy. What's your question?
My contribution is that I must commend your guest today, Don Pedro, for his contribution. You know, our people in London or in Ireland, they are very biased in what they are saying. I don't know where they get their information. You see, in this question is that everybody is clamoring for change. Change to what? Now, this is a man that has come out. You have never even given him time. Even room where I am was not started in one day. There's a lot of things. The military has ruled Nigeria for the past 32 good years. How do you expect somebody to revive Nigeria in 6 years? It's not done anywhere. We're just clamoring for change. And I must say something, that the media, they are the people causing much problem in this affair. This is an election that's supposed to be done. Nobody should kill each other. It's supposed to be an election for freedom, because Jonathan said no to God for that reason. That is, before now, he was listening to, he said openly in a media that 80% of his advisors advise him wrong. But now he's in charge. We should give him the chance to revive Nigeria. Look at, I like what Pedro is saying. He's saying about his achievements. Somebody called, the last caller, he said that he doesn't know what Jonathan did. Maybe he has not been to Nigeria for the past 10 years. He was just listening for what they're saying in the media. Now, I want to tell you the truth. The truth is bitter, but it's good to say it. Nigeria is being transformed. It cannot be done overnight. It's gradually. Even Britain, where you people are, was not transformed overnight. It was gradually. We're passing that gradually to now. So we should give him that time. It's not about party, it's not about PDP. And Mr. President said something. He said that you cannot fight corruption by celebrating the corrupt people. You should fight corruption by not letting it to happen.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, all the way from Italy. We appreciate that. Thank you. You know, sir, the caller said quite a lot there, but this corruption issue.
Yes.
And then there's also the media issue.
Yes.
You're a man who we know that's very much in the media.
Yes.
We've seen a lot
yes.
Over this election.
Yes.
How will you review some of the information that the media has put out, the Nigerian media has put out?
You see, until Berlin fell, every German thought they were winning the war. And the propaganda of Goebbels is still one of the core causes that is taught in every university or in every media space. And you are looking at a nation that is under the stranglehold of a particular segment of the country in terms of media hold. And that is where the problem has been. That is on the one hand. The media is a disservice to our country.
Okay.
And again, I want to also say this, in terms of corruption, we've been seeing a lot of things flying in the space. Who is corrupt? Buhari is suddenly the incorruptible judge. When I, as a kid growing up, a man who has no stake in this election, his name is Fela Anikulapo Kuti. He has no stake in this election, he's been long dead.
Long gone.
The time when I did inside prison, they call him inside what? Not Chris what? Not be inside, not be outside what? Not be there Buhari day. Not Christmas be that, and a man in Christmas skin. In 1978, Buhari was the Minister for Petroleum and at the same time the chairman of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. I will quote a BBC report. I have seen it on air most times. And it states clearly that he had no economic plan. He also says clearly that when 2.8 billion naira, as at the time when it was 97 kobo to a dollar,
yes,
was missing, aggregating $3 billion
at the time
in 1978, under his watch. It was traced to a Midlands account here in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Yes.
And Fela went ahead and sang a song about it. 2.8 billion naira, oil money missing. They set up inquiry. Then dabaru everybody. They say money not lost to you. Their supervisor, Obasanjo, he said make we not talk you. He did not say Obasanjo stole the money. He said Obasanjo, their supervisor, said we should shut our trap. And it has in the cool speech of Major General Muhammadu Buhari on the 31st of December 1983, he actually announced that their government is a continuation of the Murtala Obasanjo regime. And now we are seeing, I don't know, on the internet there's something that flies all over the place with 3 or 4 of them sitting and playing drafts. That is what they are doing with our lives. But we want to play chess, and this time is checkmate. That is the truth. In terms of corruption, it is a lie, a blatant lie being told. I'm not scared to say this. He was in charge of PTF.
yes,
And PTF, being in charge of PTF alone for a government that was so brazenly corrupt, the most corrupt government in Nigeria, Abacha's government, that is an indictment because you are an accessory to the fact. Number 2, Ahmed Salihijo was directly in charge. This is a fact. And I say it, fact. Ahmed Salihijo dies on the very day the probe PTF for a missing 25.2 billion naira dies on that same day, and Ahmed Salihijo is Buhari's in-law. If I am a student of literature, when you want to trace in literature, I mean, everybody, England is a country of Shakespeare. Whether you live in Stratford-upon-Avon or you are doing the performance at the Oval, this is clear. Contest question: when, who said, why, where. And once you are able to bring all this together, you create what the Americans call a profile.
yes,
So, and Nigerians, because all of them are young, all those who are voting today and screaming on Facebook, we are either not born because they are less than 35.
Okay.
That is a problem. It's a problem of perception. Perception, wrong perception of our president for being underperforming, and a huge wrong perception of the principal of the opposition for being a sterling, never, oh my God.
We have
Go and read May 5th, 1985, the New York Times, as put together by the Associated Press,
Okay.
is on Facebook, is on the internet.
Okay, let's hear from our next caller who's been waiting patiently. Hello, good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. What's your name and where you're calling from, please?
My name is Mr. Chooks. I'm coming from Italy.
Hi, Mr. Chooks. Welcome. What's your contribution or question to this afternoon?
My contribution is this. In fact, I don't know why our contributors from Britain, are you with me? Yeah, I don't know why our contributors from Britain always speak against Jonathan and the government. I'm a follower and contributor to this program. Many of them are biased about Nigeria.
Okay.
Many of them have not gone home for 10 years. Nigeria diaspora in Britain. Many of them have not gone to Nigeria for 10 years. They always say negative things about government. I just returned from home. I'm from Imo. I just returned from home a month ago. Let me tell you, practical figures. In road construction and maintenance, Jonathan have done more than any president in the history of Nigeria. This fact go to record. Road construction, new and the maintenance have done more than any other president since independence. That's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, in agriculture, since the history of Nigeria, first time agriculture has been contributing to our GDP.
Okay.
First time in history of Nigeria that Nigerian youth have been encouraged to go into agriculture as a business.
employing thousands of the youth.
Mm-hmm. Hello? Oh, we've lost Mr. Chooks. You know, I just on the basis of what he's saying there, one of the things that Nigerians will say that, you know, some Nigerians are saying now is that if it's so good, how comes the people are not feeling the impact?
The people are not?
Well, this is what some
Nigerians travel.
Some Nigerians
we have more.
saying.
No, see, those who are saying it, they are a little economical with the truth. You see, I think I used the word, say perception is the biggest problem here, not the reality. The apparent appears now to dwarf the reality. Now, number one, Nigerians travel more now than they ever done since recorded history. And you don't travel without dispensable income. That is number one. Number two, Nigeria has now the 7 of the 10 largest companies in Africa. That is not as a result of lack. Now, luckily, just 5 days ago, Forbes released the new list of millionaires, of billionaires, and for the first time,
Nigeria is taking over.
No, for the first time we had close to 7.
Okay.
On the Forbes, yes, on the Forbes, and there's 7 Nigerians, and now the first, second, and third in Africa are Nigerians. Wow. Dangote is richer than any black man living or dead since God created Adam. Now, he is not selling to people in Nigeria. He is not selling to people in the United Kingdom. He is selling to Nigerians, and he is selling one of the principal things in determining the growth of a country, either macro or micro. He is selling cement, which means there is a building boom. Now, if there is a building boom, now the first way of calibrating the economy in the UK is housing. I know. So why is the kingdom of Great Britain? I start using that word so that we remember the colonial mindset of those who are attacking us.
I wish.
Why is it that the kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, that used to be the kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, that used to be the British Empire, where Queen Victoria was Empress of India, why are they not using the same parameters in judging us?
Okay, sir, we have to go because our time is far spent. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. I thank Ben TV, and I want to say this before I go. Fellow Nigerians, I'm from the Niger Delta. We contribute to the country, not today, but since beginning of time. Our nation has been built on the soil-reading backs of the creeks, of those from Edo Delta, Bayelsa, Cross River, Ondo. Please, we are not asking for too much. Let us do our bit so that we won't feel that we are those wretched of the earth on whose soil reading backs the nation will continue to be built. That is why we make this space. My name is Don Pedro obaseki, the Enogisi of Benin. And I beg you, I speak for Jonathan. And I have no regrets, howsoever, whatsoever, whensoever, until he messes up. He hasn't done that yet.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
So you are there.